Newcastle fans must be sick to death of the transfer window now. If it wasn't bad enough last summer with everything that went on with Isak, the whole saga, and then not being able to reinvest that money, then falling off this season, out of the Champions League, it's going to be twice as bad this summer. With The Athletic this morning reporting on the players that are looking likely to leave, along with Anthony Gordon already, Newcastle, the richest club in the world on paper, cannot buy anybody this summer until they sell. How fed up must Newcastle fans be right now? I always look at things from, obviously, my club, Manchester United's perspective, and I would love to be bringing in the likes of Sandro, Tonali and Lewis Hall. I'm looking at the positive side of things, back in the Champions League and United going for both of these players. We know that Newcastle have got a high price on Tonali's head, but where are Newcastle fans thinking right now? Are you looking at this and going, should we sell Tonali just so we can get investing quicker after what happened last summer? Do Newcastle look at this and do the fans look at this and go, please don't make the same mistake again? Yes, you held out and you got a phenomenal price for Isak, but then you had no time to reinvest that money. They have lost Anthony Gordon. They are looking likely to lose Sandro Tonali. And now the news that Newcastle fans didn't want to hear, that they've been trying to avoid and ignore forever and a day, it would seem, Lewis Hall, also on Manchester United's shopping list, and a price of 50 million plus to get this deal done. As a United fan, I'm just saying straight away, I'll give you 50, 60 million for Lewis Hall. I think that's a good deal for one of the best left backs. Now, yes, he does have injury issues, and from that side of things, you've got to look at that investment, and I'm sure Manchester United will try and negotiate this in. But again, without being too red-tinted glasses here, I've got to look at this from the Magpies' point of view, and if I'm a Newcastle fan right now, I am livid. I am absolutely fed up. I'm sick to the back teeth of having to listen to stories of our best players leaving the football club. That's how Newcastle fans must be feeling right now. I mean, if you do feel that way, get into the comments and let me know. How do you see Newcastle progressing with the state of play, with financial fair play? Newcastle obviously done and hit by UEFA again. When their financial results came out, they tried to claim some part of selling St. James's Park's naming rights to a sister company owned by the PIF and what the Saudi ownership is at Newcastle, and that's been pulled. And so that's been taken away. They've already sold Anthony Gordon. That's still not covered the amount of money that they thought they were going to be showing on their books from that sale of the naming rights. They need to sell more. Sandro Tonali wants out. Obviously, you're looking at Lewis Hall being turned, his head turning with a Newcastle lad, Newcastle fan wanting to leave your football club. It does look pretty damning. And the Athletic have gone to town from the United side of things here on this one. But what is Newcastle's approach on this? This is the big question. Before we move forward with the rest of this story, I want to show you something which has genuinely upgraded my football setup. If you're like me, a football fan who wants to hear the crowd, hear the crystal clear commentary, and have that whole atmosphere in your living room, then listen to this. WIM is a speaker enhancement system that you simply just connect via Bluetooth, which turns your old speakers into the best surround sound that you can hear. One of the best features on this system is the dialogue enhancement. Just take a listen to this clip here of me watching the Champions League final and tell me you can't hear the difference.
Straight into Dembele. They're backing on. He's given the penalty.
So if you want to bring more of that match day experience to your living room, be ready for the World Cup, never miss a VAR call or what's being said on the pitch, then check out WIM in the top of this description. Check that link out there for all the latest offers on their website. Where do Newcastle go from here? Who have they got lined up to replace these players? I'm looking at this and I'm going, Lewis Hall, 50 million, that I think is a great deal. I'm looking at Sandro Tonali and the latest reports on this. This might please Newcastle fans, or does it? Because I think Newcastle are going to be stuck with Sandro Tonali, a player that doesn't want to be there, that obviously has made it clear before this transfer window opened, in the previous transfer window, that he wanted out of that football club. Sandro Tonali for 100 million. They think that they're being smart with that. And I do remember someone from Newcastle, I think it was the CEO or a sporting director, forgive me if I'm wrong, coming out and saying that we want to sell well and buy well. Well, you can sell well, but Buying well, you need time to do that. Last season, last summer, you didn't have the time to do that. So it's all right getting rid of the big players, but if you can't bring better players back in or have time to properly recruit, then you are going to struggle. I don't think Newcastle can hold out for 100 million for Sandro Tonali. And at that point, then you're going to get the player versus the coach, the player versus the fan issues, the fallout, and then all of last summer happening all over again. Can Newcastle afford to wait this out? Can they afford to try and hold out to Manchester United? They're about to lose two of their best players, having already lost Anthony Gordon, according to these reports. How many players do Newcastle have to actually sell to keep their head above water? This is getting a little bit embarrassing for the owners of Newcastle when you look at it. And again, with them backing Eddie Howe and everything that he has done this season, I think who has already hit his ceiling, where are the aspirations? Where is the ambition from the Newcastle ownership? I'm looking at this from the outside, and you can tell me all you want that I'm out of order. I've got no right to give my opinion on Newcastle and what's going on at that football club. But looking in from the outside, Eddie Howe is not the man to take Newcastle to where they want to go. If you're happy of being a potential yo-yo club in and out of Europe, then that's fine. But look, Manchester United are literally on the cusp of going exactly the same way or not. We will find out this season whether Michael Carrick can do that job and keep Manchester United in. But the difference with United from Newcastle is United will always be able to spend money. The new financial fair play rules coming in are based on revenue. Even in the Premier League, they're mimicking the same rules which Newcastle have just fallen foul of with UEFA in the squad to ratio rules. Newcastle are cooked here. They need to sell. Otherwise, they are going to struggle to get back into Europe, never mind the Champions League. And then where does that financial model actually grow? How do Newcastle move forward if they are not in Europe? They don't. They have to be in Europe to attract the players. They had Champions League last season and still couldn't attract the best players. So without Europe and their best players wanting out, one already gone, two more likely to leave this summer, Newcastle are really, really struggling here. And I don't see how they get out of it. They need a new coach. They need new players. They need a new forward line. They need new midfield coming in. And defence, I'm sorry, yes, I like Thiago. Share is aging. I don't rate Dan Burn. Obviously, if you lose Lewis Hall, Livermento's supposed to be having his head turned and likely to head to Manchester City. That story's not dead either yet. Where did Newcastle go with this here? But the big question is, how long can they hang out? How long can they hold off the other clubs from taking their players? It's a serious subject because Newcastle are sinking right now, big time. And unless they get the money in to reinvest very quickly and not go down the same road they did last summer, which got them bottom half of the table, horrible season for them. You can say, yes, this season they might come back because they haven't got European football, pretty much like Manchester United did. But if you've got aspirations, you're investing big. And you're trying to keep your best players. Newcastle can't keep their best players. That's been proven over the last two seasons. And now the financial side of it isn't there to back them up either. Eddie Howe, I don't know where Newcastle go from here. I'm not trying to bury Newcastle in this here. I actually like the club, believe it or not. But I do want your best players. I'm just going to say that. I'm being selfish as a Man United fan here. I want Tonali. I want Hall. I want them players in at my football club. I think they're great. How the hell Eddie Howe hasn't got more out of that team? I do not know. It's not good enough. It really isn't for Newcastle United. But like I said, the big question is, how long can you hold off? You need new players. The only way you get new players is by selling your big players. Can you hold out for 100 million for a whole summer and then have no time to reinvest that while every other club is taking all of the best midfielders away? You look at what every other big club in the Premier League is looking for. Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, all looking for midfielders. You want to keep Tonali, who doesn't want to be there for that long, and then let every other club take all of the other midfielders out, and you've got no one left? I would sell Tonali now and get this done quick so you don't make the same mistake that you did last summer. Get your comments in below. Let me know what you think about this and the Tonali situation, everybody. Make sure you pop a like on the video and subscribe to Adam FC. I'll see you all in the next video.